You see some guys with long hair that looks incredible, snapping perfectly into a structured style, while others just look permanently unkempt. Letting your hair grow doesn't guarantee an attractive result. For most men, it just leads to an endless, awkward phase. Hair mechanics dictate whether you look messy or have a premium aesthetic, regardless of the actual length. Looking at this flowchart, we trace the outcomes of growing hair out. You end up on a messy or premium path, divided by how it's layered. Isolating the messy path reveals a single bottleneck: improper layering. If the cut is wrong, the structure fails. This means sitting in the barber's chair and asking for some layers without a specific structural goal is a massive gamble. Today, we are decoding 5 functional layering techniques, mapping exactly which ones correct specific facial shapes and which ones fit your daily routine. Great long hair relies on deliberate structural engineering rather than passive waiting. We'll start with a common anatomical issue: hair that grows out flat, heavy, and lifeless. This comparison matrix maps out our solutions. In the first row, we have textured layers, which serve as the direct mechanical fix for flatness. You need to give your barber a precise input. Keep the exterior length the same, but cut internal texture into the hair. This adds immediate vertical movement and visual volume to the silhouette. But there is a trade-off. If your barber aggressively uses thinning shears instead of precision point cutting, the style fails and leaves your ends looking frayed. The second anatomical challenge involves dealing with round or overly wide facial structures. Returning to our matrix, the second tool is face framing layers. These act as an architectural correction for those specific facial proportions. The necessary input is cutting shorter, strategic lengths, designed to interact directly with your cheekbones and jawline. This illustration demonstrates the optical illusion at play. Sharp, vertical lines visually narrow a round face, while softer, curved edges balance out a wide jaw. The trade-off is cutting them too short. If that happens, the layers tuck awkwardly behind your ears and require heavy heat styling every morning just to lay naturally. Textured and face-framing layers are functional tools designed to correct structural imbalances. Now we move to the highly sought-after styles dominating social media: the flawless premium flow. Checking our matrix again, we introduce the seamless long flow. This requires perfect invisible blending between varying lengths and carries a high risk of failure. This simulation shows the required mechanics. The individual layers must cascade and rest perfectly over one another, interacting without friction to create a smooth surface. Unblended layers look instantly disjointed, forcing you to use heavy styling products to mask a poor cut. That brings us to the most polarizing, high-risk trend currently popular: the modern wolf cut. Our matrix logs the modern wolf cut as an extreme risk, relying on an intentional structural imbalance. The input for this look requires the barber to cut the top short while leaving heavy, disconnected layers hanging in the back. The trade-off is massive. If those proportions are even slightly off, the aesthetic drops from edgy to unprofessional and messy. Chasing these high-tier styles requires a master-level barber and significant daily styling effort. For viewers who refuse to spend time on daily maintenance, there is a safer route. Our final matrix entry is low-maintenance layers, the baseline standard for long hair. The input is simple: basic, uniform layering that requires zero daily styling, blow-drying, or hair product. The outcome yields a naturally clean, predictable shape and flow right out of the shower. You do make a clear trade-off. You sacrifice the bold aesthetics of a wolf cut in exchange for daily reliability. For absolute beginners, a clean, reliable baseline is a safer investment than attempting a trend and failing. Choosing your final haircut must be a calculated alignment between your aesthetic ambition and your daily maintenance limits. This quadrant chart lets us plot the trade-offs. The vertical axis measures aesthetic impact, while the horizontal axis tracks execution risk and daily maintenance. We start by plotting low-maintenance layers down in the bottom left quadrant. If you refuse to use hair products or heat tools, this is the most practical starting point. Next, be anatomical problem solvers. Textured and face-framing layers sit right in the center of the chart. If you have flat hair or a round face, ignore social media trends. Pick these central options and let your natural anatomy dictate your style. Finally, the seamless flow and wolf cut sit in the extreme top right quadrant. Only enter this high-risk zone if you have vetted a premium barber and are prepared to invest time in styling every single morning. Stop sitting in the chair asking for generic fades or basic trims. Bring a clear structural directive based on where you fall on this chart. An attractive long hair aesthetic is engineered by matching the right layering mechanics to your exact personal limits.